everybody, and welcome to Down the Rabbit Hole right here on My Psychic Connection. I am Bunny Sugars, and I'll be your host for this evening, and I hope you all are having a wonderful night tonight. I can't wait to get to some readings. So let's get into how we do things here really quick. We do offer free and paid readings here. We ask you to just provide us with your specific question. And if you have a general question, those are answered on the website or our website at mypsychicconnection.com. General readings can take us in, many directions, or you can talk about some or not. Having a little bit of a dysfunction today vocally. However, our general readings take us in a lot of different directions, or sometimes you may be wanting to talk about something you may not be ready to say like live and out loud. So those are up on the website if you're interested, and you get 3 minutes to start your reading. If you have any medical or legal questions, go ahead and save those for the medical and legal professionals. By law, we're not allowed to answer those types of questions. If you would like a longer reading and jump ahead of the list, you can always donate using the link in the chat. We have a quick reading, a mini reading, a medium, and a mega reading. Mega readings allow you to ask up to 4 questions. The mini, mediums, and megas are not timed. They take as much time as they take until the message is completely out. So I also want to announce, starting January 2024, $1 of every donation is going to start going to a charity that we will be doing a little bit of a drive for during that month. We also have some fun games tonight, so go ahead and get those emojis ready, and let's get jumping into some questions. But while you're getting your questions together, go ahead and throw some emojis in the chat, because we are doing an emoji contest tonight. So if you're looking for a free reading with me, oh Lord. If you're looking for a free reading with me tonight, go ahead and start jumping those emojis in the chat. Just start throwing them in there. And while we're sitting here getting it all ready to go, let's go ahead and start getting into some questions, because I have a fun show planned for you guys tonight. All right. All right. So let's see who's our first question. Joycelyn. Joycelyn says, "Hi, Bunny. Will I be working permanent as a carer or staying casual?" That's a very interesting question, Joycelyn, and thank you so much for your beautiful question. So let's see. I feel like this isn't something you're going to want to stick to. I feel like this is going to be more, I'm not sure exactly what you mean by casual, but if we're talking casual as in part-time, I see that for the moment. However, what's going to happen is I feel like with this 8 of Swords reverse, you are essentially just not going to be feeling it. You're not going to want to be tied down to this type of work. And with this 6 of Swords here, a lot of 6s here on the board, you are probably going to eventually move on from this path specifically. So I don't think this is something you're going to keep around on the long term. I don't think this is something you are going to want to just stick with. I feel like you're eventually going to shift into a different career or a different space where you're working. Division maybe is a better word, but I don't see this being something that you do permanently currently. So I do hope that was able to help. That's a very interesting question. I hope I was able to give you some clarity, my friend. So Joycelyn, thank you so much for your beautiful question. And let's go ahead and jump into our next one. And while you guys are here and asking all your burning questions, because I will be answering them tonight, go ahead and just keep throwing those emojis in the chat, because I would like to see them. I know you guys are going to be throwing those emojis in the chat. I have full faith in you. I have full faith you are going to just fly with some emojis. I can't wait to see who wins, because I might have a message for somebody today. So let's go ahead and jump into our next question. Alana asks, "When will Brad be home?" All right, so this is more of a time frame question, Alana. And I want to just preface this by saying time is very fluid. So is tarot, and so is everything metaphysical. How we see it right now, things can change, especially when you get the free will of others involved, and especially entities, especially if they're, like outside of your own control. Unfortunately, that can affect free will. But in terms of time frame, I feel like maybe potentially somewhere in the mid-winter season. And by mid-winter, I mean we're heading into spring. So somewhere between January in April. So somewhere between January and April potentially is the time frame that I'm seeing, January being likely at some point. This could be for a short period of time, but I'm seeing it a little bit closer than farther away from now. So if it might very well be January. I hope I was able to help Alana. Timeframes are very interesting because a time frame is never 100% absolute. Like I said, anything can happen and anyone's free will can interrupt a time frame given. So just keep that in mind. But I do hope I was able to help give you some clarity. And thank you so much for your awesome question. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. So we're going to go ahead and jump into the next question. Let's see. Emma says, hi, Bunny. Does Joseph still want to message me, still want me to message him? And is he still interested in please? All right, Emma. Your names are all starting to mash together in my head because I remember all of you now. I now remember all of your names, and now it just becomes a blur. So does he want you to take the action and message him? I think it wouldn't be a bad idea to. Does he want it? Not necessarily. Would it necessarily hurt? It could, but it's really going to be up to your own discernment if you're willing to or wanting to. Now, I would say kind of just let things be as they are, because I don't think his decision is going to sway any faster if you were to reach out to him. Now, if he is still interested in you, I think the answer is yes. Considering there's this Magician card here and the Knight of Wands here, I feel like there is still this interest that does exist. What's kind of holding you back a little bit is kind of you're not probably getting the response type and response time that you're looking for. You're looking for something just a little bit more definite, if that's the right word for it. You want something more clear and concrete vocally, or at least expression wise with him. And unfortunately what's happening is you're not getting that. So you're kind of wanting to see how you can kind of push it along. Emma says, yes, that's right. Yeah. I mean, I would be very wary about reaching out. I would say use your own discernment. Be very careful with how you make that decision, because what might happen is you may end up unfortunately scaring him away. Emma says, I don't want to push him away. Yeah. So I would say just, cap that idea, chill for a little bit, allow him to come to you, because that desire for their relationship is still very much there. But if you push, Emma, thank you so much for your beautiful question. And I hope I was able to help give you some clarity, Miss Ma'am. You guys have been awesome tonight. Excuse my voice. My voice is going through a little bit of, like, we'll call it some auto-tune. Like, I'm not going to give you a full Beyonce moment, but but we are having a little bit of auto-tune today. So while we're sitting here getting these emojis in the chat and seeing how many of you all want to answer or get more questions answered, because that's always a fun thing to do with me, let's go ahead and talk for a second. Let's have some thoughts. I'm gonna throw some carrots at you guys for a minute. So in my last show, I had talked about how there's going to be a lot of striking up of new relationships, new and old relationships. There's going to be a lot of potential, I want to call it like temptation. Like there's going to be a lot of temptation on the board for some of you. And this is where we got to get like really, really careful with how we do things this season. For some strange reason, it feels like there's going to be a little bit of infidelity just kind of in the breeze. And so you want to be very careful with how you're approaching certain relationship ideas and situations with people, especially if you don't or no longer wanted a connection with them. Just be very careful, because there's a little bit of what I feel like is a little bit of a dishonest air. Leave it to Sagittarius season for some foolishness like that. But there's a little bit of dishonesty in the air, and there's a little bit of, it feels like there's going to be a lot of, I want this and I'm going to do what I can to get this. And so you have to be very, very, very clear of people's intention, especially for the remainder of the month, because this is a certain type of season where a lot of people would like to be in relationships. Just be very clear where your lines are defined and be very clear about where your boundaries are, because those boundaries, like I talked about before, are super duper important. But just be careful of people's intentions right now, because there's a lot of wild energy out there. I don't know what's going on. Exes are coming back out of the woodwork. People are readjusting their entire lives. And I'm just like, wow, I'm tired for all of us. So be careful and use your discernment this season, because people will take advantage of that. And what glitters is not always gold. So that was a carrot for your thoughts. We have some carrots for y'all. I love carrots. Carrots are delicious, and this is like your spiritual beta carotene. It's like your like carotene intake spiritually, and I'm here to deliver it for you. So with that said, let's go ahead and jump into another question, because we have time. You guys are awesome tonight. Audrey says, hi Audrey. Let's see. So she says, so I pretty much could have a night job with my daughter who works at a liquor store near me. Should I do this? Struggling really bad financially. I'm unemployment and trying to pursue and train for fostering children, but I'm not making it right now. Thanks. Audrey, I'm so sorry to hear you guys are going through you're going through like this little rough patch right here. Now, should you do it? I'm going to be honest, Audrey. It's a tough one, because intuitively I say no. I feel like you may fall into some bad habits if you were to, like, some cycles of thoughts that you hadn't clearly kind of pushed out of from the past. However, if you were to take this could be potentially a helping situation. It could be a more lucrative situation with this Ace of Cups. It kind of gets you what you want. However, you're going to be very, very careful, and I'm going to need you to be careful, because there are going to be those who approach you from this workplace or within this workplace, either they are customers or not, who are going to be looking for a relationship from you. I'm going to give you a very, very definite warning. Do not take the bait. Do not enter a relationship with these people that you meet while on the job. Don't do it. Because what that feels like is you end up in this infinity loop cycle of past situations. It's basically like if you've had a problem with a certain type before, you'll find that certain type again, and you're just going to infinity loop the same situations over and over, and that's going to cause you more turmoil. So if you want the job, go for it. However, just be very careful with the type of people who you encounter. Don't try and form romantic connections. If someone flirts, just be flattered, but say, I'm at work. You want to keep a very clear separation. Me and that bell are going to probably at some point start going at it. And I guess this is the start. But my friend, thank you so much for your beautiful, beautiful question. I hope I was able to help give you some clarity this evening. So let's go ahead and jump into our next question for the evening. You guys are awesome today. Liz asks, do you see us getting out of our situation? All right, Liz. So let's see what I can pull for you real quick. Ooh. Let's see. The cards are flying out, so that's important. So the answer generally is yes. I do see you being able, or see you both getting out of this situation that you're in. Your Hanged Man is reversed. This means kind of like a breaking away. There's a breaking away. This is starting anew. It's almost like if there are chains on your feet, which is where I'm kind of pointing at in this card here. If there's the chains on your feet, it's like kind of being able to break and run away from those chains. So I do see that there's going to be an opportunity to kind of come forward for you that's going to help allow you. It's like someone's going to kind of throw you a bone here. However, it's just going to be a little bit more, there's going to be a little bit of adjustment period that's going to be needed. And I feel like this is a financial adjustment period, because you're going to have some options financially, especially with the Seven of Pentacles here. Lots of sevens for you on this board too, I feel like. However, there's going to be some financial opportunities that are going to come up. And now it's just kind of a planning scenario for the both of you. This is going to be a situation in which, yes, you're going to be able to get out your situation with how you want to do it, because you don't want to take too many wrong steps. So do take a little bit of care in how you're trying to move out of the situation. You will get out of it, but do yourself a favor and just go through a very, very strenuous planning process, because quite frankly, it doesn't matter if you're ready to jump ship right now or next year. You want to have a plan in place. And I feel like that plan is going to be super duper important for you coming up, especially. So just an idea of how to save money, where you want to save money, where you want to allocate things. I do think that is going to help you moving forward, or at least give you like a base or a line going forward. So I do hope that was able to help you, my friend. We are doing awesome, you guys. And I'm so happy that I'm seeing all these emojis in the chat, because I can see you. I can see what's going on here. Remember, if you win the emoji contest, you get a free card from me. And I feel like there's a message in here for somebody. So I would love to give it to you. I just got to know who the winner is going to be so I can throw your message out there. However, we're going to keep it rolling. We're going to keep this train moving, and we're going to jump into our next question. So let's get into it. Carly says, shall I stay in my current connection, or will I find new love soon? Oh, Carly, that's a very interesting question. Let's see. I feel like in questions like that, it's good to use a lot of discernment, especially depending on how long you've been in a relationship, because I can't necessarily see that like that. How long you've been in the relationship and how long you're willing to continue things. Now, in terms of staying, I feel like it wouldn't be necessarily a bad idea to stay. I think there's some things that can be worked out. You have a temperance card. This is talking about bringing balance into the situation. It's almost like I need to figure out how to fix before I decide to move on. You do have options. You have a lot of options. There's a lot of sevens here, a lot of abundance that you can find, like love-wise. However, should you jump out of this one? Not so soon. I think you'd have to kind of look back within the relationship a little bit and kind of figure out where things can be shifted, maybe try and find a fix before going ahead and jumping into something different. You do have this decision to make, but I think if you try and work it out, Carly says, yes, just feeling lost, going back and forth. I can totally understand that. And if you've been going through that for a long time, it's going to make this decision harder. However, the discernment here is how long are you willing to put up with that? And will you be consciously okay if you decide to go ahead and step away from this relationship and start anew somewhere else? Like, do you feel like you've done all you can do? All you can do. And if you feel like, yes, you've done all you can do and there's nothing else I have left, then that's when you say, okay, I know there's probably some other things I can try, but I don't have it in me anymore. When you start losing that passion to try and fix things, you then have to start moving away to save your own sanity, if that makes sense. So the answer is, me and this Belle are fighting now. So Carly, I hope I was able to help give you some clarity. I did have a little bit more in the back of my head, unfortunately. However, I do hope I was able to help give you a little bit of clarity. And thank you so much for your beautiful, beautiful question. And let's go ahead and jump into our next one. Let's see. Mila asks, hi, I am confused person still interested in continuing and growing our relationship? I'm confused. All right, Mila. Can I see that question one more time just to make sure I've got my little spiritual hat on straight? So let's see. Are they still interested? I do think, Mila, there is an interested in continuing the relationship. The growth part of the relationship is going to require a little bit more self-awareness from your partner's end, and I don't think they have that. So while they want to continue the connection, there's not enough emotional maturity, I feel like, to understand fully where the problems are coming from and how essentially to even solve or begin to tackle their side of the problems, because it almost feels like they're not truly acknowledging where their faults are here. So what I do feel like, sure, yeah, they want to continue the relationship, but will it grow? I do not feel so. There's a lot of learning that has to happen here in order for that to happen. And it's, again, this is that conversation of using discernment, because how long are you willing to wait for your person to figure out what their shortcomings are and where they're kind of giving the relationship a harder time. How long have you been trying to fix that scenario within the relationship itself? So honestly, yeah, they're still interested in continuing, but the growth part, I do not see it happen. If anything, I see you growing more frustrated over time, and this could cause more significant issues within the relationship dynamic than there is now. So this is one of those where you're going to have to use to some degree your discernment in figuring out how much more you're willing to take, if that makes sense for you. So I hope that goes. I hope you have a easier time figuring this out. I know it's a very confusing situation, but I do hope I was able to help give you some clarity. And thank you so much for your beautiful question. You guys are doing awesome tonight. We're having a wonderful time. We're getting things together. I see these emojis, and I want to see more emojis in the chat, because again, if you win the emoji contest, you get a free reading from me. So that's always a good time. So go ahead and just throw those emojis in the chat. I wish to see them. I wish to see the emojis, and I cannot wait. Carly says, thank you. That helped a lot. You are so very welcome, Carly. And I'm so glad I was able to help you. You guys, I want to see the emojis in the chat, and I'm going to keep harassing you guys about it until it's time to pick a winner. But while I'm harassing you, let's go ahead and jump into another question. Andrea asks, oh, Q-Tree. Oh, Andrea. Okay. Look at me. We're having vocal slip-ups and lots of auto-tune issues mentally. Andrea asks, how is Ryan feeling towards me? All right, my friend. So let's jump into that one. How is Ryan feeling towards you? I feel like the first word I hear is confusion, and that kind of reflects here, because this is a reflection card. This is a lot of deep thinking about the relationship. Now, while this card, this mansion card, is like, there is a happiness here that Ryan has with you. However, I think there's a little bit of hesitation within the forward motion of the relationship. So this is talking about into the situation of marriage. This is also, I almost wonder if there's someone else Ryan has been thinking of or had dealings with before, because there's two cards here that are very interesting to me that came out. There's a bachelorette card, and then also a cliffhanger reversed. So I'm almost wondering if him and his mind is going back and forth about the haves and the have-nots, what he has and what he does not have. So it's almost like he's happy with the relationship here, but he keeps having these shoulda, coulda, woulda thoughts. Well, what if I would have went this way thoughts? And I think these are somewhat normal thoughts to have, especially depending on when the relationship started or how soon ago the relationship started. Those are not uncommon questions for any of us to ask ourselves, especially when we're in like a very deeply committed relationship. Like, well, what would have happened if I would have ended up over here? The concern is if that is becoming a hindrance, because he's not living in the moment. He's too far in his head. So he's not unhappy with you. I think he's happy that Four of Roses is really strong. He's really happy with you, but he's also doing that thing where we look back at our past and attempt to figure out, well, what if I would have went with this other person? And is that something I still want? It's just a lot of self-reflection. My friend, I had a little bit more for you there. However, I do hope I was able to help answer your question. That's a very interesting topic I'll have to breach on one day. So while we're sitting here, I do want to get into a thought process, because that is something interesting. Mila says, thank you. You are right. He is immature and have a lot of issues. I will try. I love him and he has a good heart. And it's good that you're able to see that, Mila. And I wish you the best of luck. Good luck. Keep me updated. But while we're sitting here, I want to throw a carrot for your thought, because that last question led me into some really important thoughts. So whenever we get into a relationship, we especially certain types of us, because I am this type. We don't like to hear about our partner's previous relationships a lot of the time. We feel like if you're with me, you're with me and you need to stay with me. But we often forget something really important, that type of reminiscing that I was talking about, where sometimes, oh, we kind of look into these old relationships or old potential relationships we had. And it's like, well, if I would have stayed with this person or went with this person, I wonder how it would have been. I think being able to question that, especially when you're in a committed relationship with somebody, I think is 100% a human experience. And I don't think we should be too harsh on partners when they begin experiencing those things, unless they're like, unless they're like plotting, planning, thinking about, or looking like they're going to go step out somewhere. Don't do that. don't entertain that. But if it's just a thought, if it's just a reminiscent thought, I think we have to be a little bit more forgiving, because I think what happens is we tend to internalize that as we're not good enough for them. And we have to remember that's just not the case. You are good enough, especially if they chose to be with you. You're definitely good enough. But sometimes as humans, we tend to get lost in our thoughts. And sometimes we always think about, what if the grass was greener on the other side? And we have to allow people the chance to have those thoughts. It's different when they begin acting on those thoughts. That's when this is a no-no. That's when everything I'm saying is null and void. But if it's just a thought of, or reminiscent, or that would have been interesting, but there's no acting on the thoughts, that is 100% a human experience. That is 100% a human situation, and we have to allow our partners to be human. They can't be superhuman. They can't read our minds. They cannot be perfect 100% of the time. They will do things that make us question if we're good enough or not. But we also have to realize that sometimes questions, concerns, reminiscing thoughts are a part of the human experience, and that's just how we are wired. But do be very careful. Again, if they start looking like they're about to go step out, and if they actually start stepping out, we're past this point. We're past it's a thought. Don't entertain that. So, and that was a little bit of a carrot for your thought, but that's an interesting thought, because it does go into allowing your partners to be human. There's a limit, but our partners are human too. And you have to allow them that humanity just a bit, even if it worries us. So, thank you for your daily dose of spiritual beta carotene. So, since we have a second, let's go ahead and throw in some more seconds. I want to see some more emojis in the chat. Go ahead and see. I want to see them, because I am watching. And while y'all throwing emojis in the chat, let's go ahead and jump into our next question. Yay, Stacy asks, I just texted my boyfriend F to reconsider getting back together. Will he budge? Okay. Stacy, that's a really good question. So let's see if F is going to reconsider. I feel like I don't think so, Stacy. I'm really not getting it strong. There's a part where there's a little bit of a thought, but that thought is not strong enough to push through. So you have your Ace of Rings reverse. This is really here talking about how there's no forward motion into that reconciliation aspect. I don't think he's trying to budge. He is quite secure in his no and not moving. With this first impressions card, I do think he does. It's almost like I think about the idea, I think about the thought. However, instead of being able to think about the thought, he is more concerned with standing his ground. So it's more of a stand your ground sort of situation. However, there is this rejection here, and it's literally coming out with this Ten of Mirrors, this literally rejected card. Look at these sad cookies, and I'm so sorry. But this rejection here does linger. I don't think he's looking to. I think there's parts of him that reminisces about when things were good. He thinks about it. It's not strong enough for him to act on it, though. And this is a little bit of stubbornness. And it's possible he may not respond super great to your text message. So just be very aware. You might get a very cold, dry response from him. You may not get something super lively, unfortunately. there's an attempt here to put distance between the two of you on his end, and that's what it's looking like currently. So I hope that was able to help you, my friend. I'm sorry you got the sad cookie card, but it gets better from here, I promise. So thank you so much for your beautiful question, and I hope I was able to help give you guys some clarity for the evening. We're having a wonderful time today. We're doing great. So while we're sitting here doing wonderful, let's go ahead and jump into another question, because why not? Jenny says, hey, Bunny, what do you see for the relationship I'm in with Ron? Okay, let's see. I want to switch decks for this one. So between Jenny and Ron, I think the relationship, it's in a decision period, if that makes sense. It's kind of like there's a little bit of a limbo, and it's like about moving forward. Now, I feel like Ron has some walls up, definitely. He's drawing a 7 of Wands. Now, there is this thought of moving things into a higher level of a relationship, or just pushing things forward. I do think there's this desire here, but because there is this 7 of Wands here, there's very much this defensive energy that's coming from that. This has a lot to do with past issues and past hurt. It's almost like focusing too much. Jenny says, yes, we've been arguing a lot. Oh, Jenny, I'm so sorry. It's kind of giving me the idea that he's thinking a lot of things that are going wrong instead of things that are going good. It's like I'm thinking a lot of the past issues instead of the real good things. It's like I see the spilled milk, but I don't see where the milk carton is still kind of mostly full. It's a little bit of a self-defeating prophecy. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy at that. He might have a tendency of thinking too harshly on situations, overthinking it, and then overthinking things into the point where he cannot essentially, he can't think past the negative, and he just is kind of hyper focused. He just refuses to see the positive. Jenny says that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, he seems to have a more negative thought process. And so when you two have an argument, he's going to hyper focus on the negatives around that. And instead of thinking about the positives that he does have with you, he's going to focus and view into that negative. And that's where you two are kind of having more disagreements probably lately than you were before, because it kind of just started. Oh, my friend Stacy, I do hope things get better for you from here on out. And thank you so, so much for your beautiful, beautiful question. And so let's go ahead and jump into our next question. We're doing wonderful. Duology. Oh my goodness, I hope I'm saying your name right. I'm so sorry. I like butcher names, and I don't want to butcher anyone's beautiful name, so I hope I'm saying it a little bit right. There is a person around my work who has confessed their interest in me. I feel interested in him. Do you see this connection turning into something meaningful? That's a wonderful question. I love this question, actually. So let's see kind of what the potential of the relationship is between the two of you. And I do think we have good news. Thank God. So this turns into a lover's card situation. There's clearly a connection between the two of you. Now, this is not always an automatic yes, but I do think with these surrounding cards, there's a very good chance that this is going to become a more positive relationship, essentially. And that's a good thing here. So with this lover card starting you off, your next card is literally Wheel of Fortune. So I think the feelings are mutual. The feelings are definitely mutual. I do think you should pursue the interest duology. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. She says, oh wow, so happy to hear that. Yes, this looks particularly positive. And I love that, because I don't like to give 100% positive, but this looks really, really good optic wise. So you're coming in with this Wheel of Fortune after this Lover's card. That means things flowing positively, right direction. This is good. This is a super duper good sign. This means this can be a more enlightening and fulfilling relationship between the both of you. These are wonderful cards to draw on your first hit. And then with this Page of Cups here, that is literally talking about this emotion coming in. So I see this being a more positive relationship. I think you're kind of just being given the green light to go for it, and then you get a Death card outright. So it's like every positive you could get here. That's phenomenal. This was a great reading. That said, Spirit said green light. Go for it. So I think this could be a much potentially beneficial relationship. It's probably going to be one of your better relationships. And I think you'll enjoy yourself in this one. So good luck. Please keep me updated on how that goes, because that sounds super exciting. I can't wait to hear. I can't wait for the news back. So thank you so much, though, for your beautiful, beautiful question. I hope I was able to help give you some clarity. So let's go ahead and jump into our next question. And then maybe we'll get into some carrots. We have carrots, and I have thoughts. I have too many thoughts. Doll just says, you made my day. Don't worry about the pronunciation of my name. We'll be back with updates. Thank you so much. And thank you for understanding that I have horrible pronunciational skills, but I don't want to butcher anyone's name. And I cannot wait to hear updates. I love when romance stories start off on the right foot. I'm like, yes, I'm rooting for everybody. I'm rooting for all of you. Oh my goodness, you guys are so awesome. And I love seeing the new relationships blooming, even though it's a little bit weird energy right now this December. I'm really happy to see that there are these new relationships blooming. People are falling deeper in love than they were before. People are starting, it's the start of let's get engaged season. I'm like, oh yes, I love watching it from afar. Oh my goodness, you guys are awesome. Don't forget, keep throwing those emojis down there. And let's go ahead and jump into our next question. Let's see. All right, everybody, you heard the lightning. It was loud and it was in your face. It is time for the lightning round. So go ahead and put all of your yes/no questions into the chat. I will be for 3 minutes sitting here telling you yes, no, or undecided on your questions. So if you have a question that you've been wanting an answer, just a quick answer, go ahead and start throwing your questions in there. Go, 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 go. Throw your questions, get it going, because I want to see like 800 questions in the chat. I'm going to go as fast as I possibly can. Straight up intuition, just gauntlet. I can't wait. So go ahead and put your questions in the chat. I can't wait. Yes, no's, yes, no questions only for the next 3 minutes. And we're going to go rapid fire. I can't wait. I love the lightning round. It's so fun. It's so fun. It's like a big intuition test. And then you guys get super quick answers, super duper quick. So if you like quick answers, you can have your question answered real quick because it's the lightning round. So go ahead and drop your questions into the chat. Go, 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 go. Because once we start, we're going to keep going. And then I'm just going to go speeding through. So here's your chance to ask your yes or no questions. Throw my intuition into a tizzy real quick. So I can't wait. Go, go, go. Type in your questions. I want to see them. I can't wait to see your questions. Ask me something fun. Like, are you going to get a chihuahua in 2024? I don't know if that was like specific to somebody, but if it is, look, if it is, let me know. Gemma asks, is Adam in love with me yet? Yes. Jenny asks, should I move to Florida with Dio? No. Gemma, will Adam come to my son's wedding with me? No. E, will I get the job interview for last week? Yes. Majestic, will Robert and I reconcile? Undecided. Mila, does he love me? Yes. Jenny, is Dio financially stable to make me and my kids move in with him? No. Kathleen, will I get a promise ring for Xmas? Yes. Mock says, will Lulu communicate with me in 2024? Undecided. E, will the relationship work out with the J? No. Gemma, will I go to Brighton next year? No. Mila, will I get a job? Yes. E, should I stay in Maryland or go back to Florida? Undecided. Etherion, oh my goodness. Will I move in 2024? No. Gemma, will I go to New York in the future? Yes. Duology, excuse me. Will I get a better job opportunity next year? Yes. Gemma, will I move in 2025? Yes. Ethereon, will I get my debts paid in 2024? Undecided. Mila, should I move to West Palm? No. E, should I keep both my jobs or get a new one? Undecided. Jenny, will I get my US document through my dad? No. Ethereon, will I get a dog or a cat in 2024? Undecided. Firefly, does Aries know he did me wrong? Yes. Ethereon, will I get a nice surprise gift for Christmas? Yes. Firefly, will I be working on Christmas Eve? No. Mila, should I continue my artwork? Yes. E, will the new year bring new love? Yes. Gemma, will I get a job in the next few years? Yes. E, more money coming in 2024? Yes. Firefly, will Aries be reaching out before Christmas? No. Mila, will I succeed in real estate? Yes. Kathleen, will me and my partner get a new house next year? Undecided. All right, y'all. Thank you guys so much for participating in the lightning round. You guys are awesome. And thank you all for your questions. I hope we can get more in depth with some of those questions because some of those were like super duper interesting. So I am excited to see where exactly we're going to go from here because that was a lot. We did phenomenal. You guys are awesome. Y'all rocked it out. Good job on the lightning round, everybody. Mila said this is so cool. Thank you, Mila. I'm so glad you're having a good time here tonight. E says that was a good bunny. Thank you. I'm so glad you guys were feeling it. We were putting my intuition to the test. Jenny said, love the lightning round. That is the best. Thank you, Jenny. I'm so glad you were having a good time with the lightning round too. I love the lightning round. It is one of my favorites. We fly at dawn. We fly at the speed of light. It just throws my intuition into a tizzy and I get so excited and I get all buzzed up when it happens. So I love the lightning round just as much as you guys do. And so I can't wait for the next one, you guys. But while we're waiting for more ideas, more thoughts, more feelings, more carrots, let's go into our next question. Kathleen, me and my partner, so happy. We have been talking about a promise ring. Will he get me one for Christmas? This is a good question. And I remember you asked that in the lightning round. I feel like the possibility is definitely there, but I feel like at the same time, he is back and forth on the idea. So first and foremost, you have a 2 of Cups in the reverse. That's kind of where we're starting. And it's a bit of a no, but also in this regard, he's very on the fence about where he wants to go in regards to things. And it's not that he doesn't like you. I feel like he's just really kind of slow and taking his time with where he wants this to go. So the promise ring is definitely possible. He's very aware you want it. But I feel like because there's the stagnant energy here, or he's coming off a little bit cold and not communicative. That's where this cold was coming from, this daggone sword hitting under here. He's coming off a little bit cold and emotionless and not really wanting to share in that emotion with you. And that's making this extremely hard. So I kind of feel like the promise ring has a good possibility because he knows it's something that would make you happy. But also he isn't fully sure about where he wants to go. He has feelings for you. There's this Lover's card here. He has these feelings for you. He wants to move things eventually into this pathway. He's going to get there eventually. He wants to do it on his terms and his time. So you have a good possibility of getting this ring. But also, I feel like if you don't get it, do not be surprised because literally he is back and forth in his own mind with how he wants this relationship to go. He wants it to go his way. He wants things to go in his time frame. And that can be a little bit frustrating for you, unfortunately. That's kind of a tough one, to be honest. So I do hope I was able to help give you some clarity, though. And thank you so much for not only participating in the lightning round, but for your beautiful, beautiful questions. So thank you so much, my friend. And let's go ahead and jump into the next one. Let's say, oh, congratulations, Emma G. You're tonight's emoji contest winner. Thank you, Emma, for participating. And thank you, everyone who's participated in the emoji contest. You guys are awesome. And remember, every time, at least when I'm on air, we are doing an emoji contest. And so make sure that if you want a free reading from me, you go ahead and throw those emojis every time you see my face on screen. You see bunnies, just start throwing emojis. Anyways, Emma, let's go ahead and get into your reading. So I feel like you need a little bit of light energy today. I feel like you need something a little bit more strengthening, because it feels like if I had to put a color on what you're feeling, it's a little bit gray, a little bit blue, a little bit dark purple. It just feels a little somber. It feels like a cloudy day. A little bit is kind of what I'm getting from you. And I don't know if you've been feeling that lately, but it just feels like the sun is blocked by the clouds. Literally 3 cards flew out. So you know what? I'm going to just take the messages as they come. Your first card is Let It Blossom. The timing of the universe is precise and wise. With patience and care and trust, the flowers you have been tending to will bloom in glorious beauty. And then your next card is Migrating into New Territory. As the breeze grows cooler, it's time for a change. And then your next card is a Powerful Warrior. Don't feel small. You are stronger and braver and more valid. Emma says, yes, been feeling out of sorts. Look at me picking up auras and colors. Look at me. Just throwing it out here. So this Powerful Warrior card is talking about you are stronger and braver and more valued than you know. It's time to tap into your true source of power. Emma, what that sounds like, just based on these 3 cards, you want to make some changes in your life. You're not sure where to go, but you also need to allow things to just fall into place. It's almost like you're over expecting your timing to be. It's like if you are expecting some abundance to come in, you're like, universe, what's going on? Why isn't my abundance here? What is going on? Why am I being punished like this? It's almost like you're seeing certain negative aspects of what's happening around you as like this kind of divine punishment. Don't think about it like that. Remember, it's all going to happen in the timing it's supposed to. But in this meantime, you can't put yourself down by essentially kind of believing or letting yourself believe that things are never going to get better. Emma says, yes, that's right. I'm trying to manifest. And you're doing a good job. All these cards just confirmed it. You just have to let it happen. Because we can sit here and beg for, I say this a lot, we can beg for a miracle all day long. We have to start putting the right steps or taking the right foot forward into that miracle. But before we can even do that, we have to sit, we have to rest, and we have to allow ourselves to heal. Sometimes that spiritual healing is needed in order for that manifestation to really kind of ignite. And you can manifest all day long, but spirit is going to give it to you when they're ready. You can spend an entire year manifesting and they won't give it to you till next year. But your job is to take care of yourself, feel better about who you are as a person, and start making clear, decisive decisions that lead into that manifestation. And then spirit's going to be like, she's ready, let's go. So stop being so hard on yourself. Allow yourself to rest. Allow yourself to breathe. Cry about it sometimes. It's okay. You're human. You're gonna be upset. You'll be frustrated. But at the end of the day, just remember, spirit hears you. They see you. They know you're looking for that type of assistance. It's not all doom and gloom, and it's not lost yet. You just have to power through and really just put your back into it and try and make it work right here, right now. As much as that sucks, spirit wants to see perseverance and push through. And you got it. You just have to be easy on yourself. Give yourself a little bit of grace, all right? So I hope that was able to help. And thank you so much for being our emoji contest winner. You, my friend, are beautiful. Everyone in here who's joined me today is beautiful. You guys did an amazing job with the emojis, and I'm so happy. So thank you guys so much. Emma says, thank you, Bunny. You are so very welcome, Emma. And that is it for the emoji contest, but we got time, so let's go ahead and jump into some more questions. I said some words. There were words there. Gemma asked, I have never noticed many birds in my area, but yesterday morning when I looked out into my kitchen, I saw a robin on my wall. Is this a morning? Then this morning, a crow on the wall. Does this have any meaning? Birds and typically robins, I mean, everything kind of has a meaning. However, I may not be the best one who's versed in those types of meanings, because while I have an idea. I don't want to lead you astray in that idea. So I want to advise you talk to one of my psychic sisters on the channel or the wonderful Journey Ryan. And I think they would have a better answer for you, because what I don't want to do is give you something I'm not 100% sure on. I don't want to lead you down the wrong rabbit hole. We like rabbit holes here, but we don't want to go wrong. But I do think they have meaning. But I'm going to ask that you go and see one of the other wonderful psychics on this site. And honestly, you're onto something. Your intuition might be more right than you think. I can tell you that. So thank you so much, Gemma. And I'm so sorry I couldn't really give you a great answer, but we still have time. So let's get into another question. And thank you guys so much for being here. You guys are awesome. I have a lot of research to do. Jenny says, should I move to Florida with D.O.? Oh, and I remember this from the lightning round, Jenny. So I'm going to say I don't think it's the best idea, because I can already feel like if an earthquake was a feeling, right? If an earthquake was a feeling, that's what I feel. So first and foremostly, you are not going to be emotionally satisfied moving to Florida with Dio. And I feel that because there's something here that hasn't been spoken on or is not being told to you. I feel like that has a lot to do with a certain type of balance that's here. And I feel like because if an earthquake had a personification, I tell you, but literally it feels like there's something in the foundation that isn't right. And so when we're talking about foundations, what are we talking about? We're talking a lot about pentacles. We're talking a lot about structural foundations within a home unit. I feel like what's going to happen is you're going to end up taking up a lot more stress, because he may not be financially sound as you may want him to be in order for you to feel comfortable. I think there's a little bit of recklessness here that exists, and it's something that has to be either addressed or he has to fix. It's not something that you can fix. It's something he has to fix. So I feel like you're going to end up taking up much more stress than you would like, essentially, if you were to move. I feel like it would take a whole lot of effort and a whole lot of teamwork between the both of you. You both have to be ready to communicate, because it feels like essentially the relationship would be more stressful when you move in because of the lack of preparation that was taken beforehand. You would have to put in a lot of work and a lot of energy, and that's going to leave you feeling emotionally siphoned. So while yes, the possibility of moving with him is there, I don't think it's a good idea to take it. It would just cause you more stress, unfortunately. So my friend, I hope that was able to help give you a little bit more clarity. And let's go ahead and jump into our next question. We got time for another. And Marianne says, hi, Bunny. Am I wrong for cutting my cousin off? She had her baby 3 months before mine, and I told her I was planning on naming our son after our late grandfather, and she stole the name. Oh, okay, Ethereum. Okay, so were you right? I feel like a little bit of both. A little bit. I think first and foremost, you cutting them off protects your energy or how you feel, right? I think it's fair that in all cases where we're talking about our emotions, that your ability to express and be upset about something is 100% valid. And if that means cutting someone off, then that is okay. So was it necessarily the wrong choice? No. Were you wrong for doing it? Not necessarily. I know you're going back and forth about it. You're not sure. You're trying to weigh out the options because it is a name. And I get it. There's kind of a, but also I think it was good for what you needed emotionally. So I think, no, it wasn't necessarily the worst thing you could have done. It was the best thing you could have did for yourself with this Wheel of Fortune upright. And then with this Page of Cups, you're just taking your care and feelings elsewhere because you feel hurt. You're walking in the opposite direction. Instead of walking towards, you're walking away. And this is because you feel hurt. And I think you have to remember that your hurt is valid. Even if it's something as, simple as a name that you wanted to name your child, essentially your feelings in that scenario are valid, especially if there was a conversation beforehand and you felt like a little blindsided, or no one talked to you, or no one, compromised or thought of some cute in between for the both of you. So I think for your feelings, you did the right thing. And I think it's good to just kind of take that separation for a little bit, because I do think it's going to be a while before you both talk again. It's a very conflicting set of emotions, and it's a very personal. Oh, my friend, thank you so much for your beautiful question. And I hope I was able to help give you some clarity this evening. So let's go ahead and jump into the next one. Jenny says, this is a new relationship, yes, and I think you're spot on. Beautiful. Oh, thank you so much, Jenny. I'm so glad I'm able to help resonate for you. It is definitely new. Don't jump too fast. Don't jump the shark. Don't jump too fast. Sometimes it's dangerous. Oh my gosh. I'm so glad you guys are getting some good clarity tonight. Son of Squirrel says, did I make the right choice in Orion that I didn't want to date him? Oh, in telling Orion that I didn't want to date him. Oh, I see. All right, my friend. Honestly, I think emotionally, you don't feel like you made the right choice. Emotionally, foundationally, it just feels like you feel like you didn't make the right choice. I think in general, I think you made the right choice for you. I don't think your choice was necessarily wrong. Did you make the right choice? I feel like for your emotions, yes. I do think it's something you should revisit at a later date, because I think what it really is now just wasn't the right time for the both of you. It's not necessarily you were wrong. It's you made the right choice for you right here, right now. But I think this is something that's going to probably be revisited in a couple. Some Squirrel says, yeah, he's not super younger than me, but it felt weird right now. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. It's just not the time yet. There's a comfort level you have to become comfortable with in regards to the situation. So give it a moment, give it time. Don't drown the horse yet. Oh God, what an analogy. Don't drown it yet. Son of Squirrel says, yes, exactly. Thank you, Bunny. You are so very welcome, my friend. I hope I was able to help give you some clarity. So, well, we're here. I think we can do another question, because, whoa, I'm getting hot in here. Oh, and that is it. That is our time, everybody. I want to thank you guys so much for being here. You all have been wonderful and awesome, beautiful audience. I love seeing all my old faces here. I love seeing all my new faces here. I caught some of you who I haven't seen before. Thank you all so much for joining us. I have been Bunny Sugars, and you can catch me every Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for I Am Human. You can also catch me every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Down the Rabbit Hole. You get options with me. And if you'd like a more personal one-on-one communication with me, you can catch me on mypsychicconnection.com. I work the lines, and I'm usually there all the time. So if you'd like to get a little deeper in your reading with me, go ahead and find me there. And tonight, you can catch the wonderful, beautiful squirrel. I miss squirrel so much. The wonderful, beautiful squirrel tonight at 10 p.m. with Whispers from the Forest. And I believe Journey Ryan Live tonight at midnight. I think I got that right. So, thank you all so much for being here. You've been a beautiful audience, and I cannot wait to see you guys next time. And catch me on mypsychicconnection.com. But I'll see you guys next week. Goodbye. Take care.